Hello, hello, hello. Just keeping an eye on things before we get started. Hey Loki, how you doing? Just keeping an eye on the bitrate. When I started the stream, had a big dip, but that's not completely abnormal, especially for the art streams. So I'm just curiously watching. Oh, my desk is a mess right now. I really need to do some cleaning. How's everybody doing? Got a little transition, a new transition. Yeah, the clips posted were rather rough, but 9S really fluid. So why people need me? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was. I mean, really did say my people need me. Yeah, he just like dipped straight off. Yeah, but I know that for next time. So next Friday I'll alter the settings just so it looks a little bit better. Because yeah, very blocky. But also I can't keep an eye on the playback with those streams, so I need to make sure that's right, and then I'll get into the stream. What am I doing? Oh, art. Yeah, that's the thing. It's been a while. Ooh. And I realized that sound, the ad starting soon thing, wasn't audible before. So it was audible for me, but it didn't come up on stream, so I didn't realize that. Now I know. So there are some noises and stuff. Understandable. Your main focus should always be making sure the streams are fun for both you and the viewers. Yeah, it's the priority, but I do also want to make sure that it's actually like viewable. It looks like it's viewable, but it could have looked better. That's for sure. The technical problems are second. Yeah. It is. It really is the case, isn't it? Line work. Oh, yep, and I've altered my loop deck, so there's a bunch of stuff that I've moved around, and now I need to get used to the fact that they are not where they used to be. So that's great. That's going to be a lot of fun to kind of work through. One of which being, oh shit, the zoom and undo are in two different places now. Wunderbar. But I'll get used to it. And once I have done, it'll make my life easier. And as for how I am, floating around 0.15, so pardon me if I speak more absolute than no normal. Okay, that's fair enough. You're all good. Do what you gotta do. Is it going to be a chill stream tonight? Just chilling out. Keeping it easy breezy. And I don't think the German went over... Don't think the German went over your head. German? Wunderbar. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I just say that. I do just say wunderbar every so often. I don't know. You gotta use expressive language, you know, sometimes. It goes to show that I'm so used to just saying wunderbar or, you know, what have you, that I just didn't recognize that I said it as well. Actually, and there's also something I wanted to show. I wanted to show off. Let's hope. Oh, wrong button. But I seem to be doing my best work when I'm like, when I do it last minute. But basically, I've been working through something, and I've made myself a little bit more expressive. So I got a cry face. I'm real sad. I used Anya as a reference for this face. And then I also just added spooked. Just an anime spooked face. Just as a little bit more expressiveness, and I'll start working at actually integrating these kinds of looks more. I mean, I made and designed them. I should be using them, right? I may be from Alabama, but my part was settled by German scientists that may have lost a certain world war, so German expressions are second nature to you. Ah, nice. You could tell. I mean, I did just say a German word, so of course you could just tell. But like, oh, that's interesting. That feels a bit... Let's start from here. Do that. That's way better. Yeah, in South Australia we actually have a German settled town called Harndorf, which is very beautiful. It's a very beautiful spot. But it's got a lot of that German architecture and design around it. So it looks really cool. And very, very different from a lot of the stuff you see in Adelaide. I almost feel like his quaff should be like out. We'll see how we go with time for this chapter, but I'm looking to maybe potentially take my time with it. Not too long, of course, but just enjoy the process and maybe try developing some fundamentals and developing a more distinct style. Though I do have a distinct style at this point, I'd like to really embrace it a lot more as well. So it might mean that this chapter may take longer or may not. We'll see. But I am also illustrating dancing and combat in this chapter as well, so those will add to the runtime anyhow. Where I'm from, we have buildings constructed to honor Warner von Braun. Fun fact, his son was one of your teachers in school. Ah, that is interesting. Just stretching my arms. So for this intro sequence as well, I'm not, like, I'm gonna dabble with what I want to do, because I may actually add a page before this. So we'll see. But that is really interesting as well. Like, I don't want to say small world, because it's, I mean, it is like this whole small world kind of thing, but it's slightly different. One of the rocket scientists that defected to America also, did you say combat and dancing? Yes. So, oh, let's change layer, not zoom out. Again, it's going to take me a while to get used to it. But so this very first chapter, Ratchet needs to do something to pass the time. So we've got a little dance sequence where basically he sings a fight song and kind of dances along to it. And we'll get a little bit more of that visually depicted in the comic. For this opening part to the chapter, we get to see like a little bit. So I'm adding a little bit of like in between panel pieces where we see Ratchet cover some distance, and he's just dancing. He's dancing and passing the time while he walks from the Doghouse Inn to Timberstone. And then, yeah, not to spoil too much, but there will be a fight in this chapter, which I'm very excited for because I haven't gotten to do that yet. And though I'm kind of nervous about it, I am also excited for the opportunity to expand this comic to add combat and fighting and things like that. I really hope that the pig anime finishes soon. Can I give a bit of a spoiler that may help you with world building? Absolutely. If it helps, if it's like a reference tool, absolutely spoil it for me if you think it'll help. I trust you enough to know that you wouldn't spoil something for me unless it had like a genuinely very useful purpose. So go for it. Can have him puff out his chest a little bit here. In the pig anime, there is a slave race. Okay. I forget their name, but they are the only magically inclined people. Ah, okay. I'm not sure how I'm gonna, like, depict themes like that, because I feel like most medieval stories have something along those lines, but I don't know. We'll see. I got time to do that world building, so I'll figure it out. So that just doesn't line up at all. Do it proper. Graham S. Do I just use the examples I've provided? No, because they're not correct. There you go, that'll do. They all wear basically slave collars. When they die, the collar is obviously left behind. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, it tracks, right? That would be what happens. Um, there you go. Well, normal people have a habit of reusing the collars, the ones that are taken away, taken care of by people with no ill will to the race continue to shine, and the other maneuvers of the race notice it. Alright. That makes sense. Members. Oh. Shine and the other members of the race notice it. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm with you. I'm with you. But if the people or area holds ill will towards that group, uh, holds that group, do not like them, it tarnishes. Oh, and do not like them, it tarnishes. Oh, right. Okay, so the collars shine or tarnish. Right. That is cool. Depending on the... What's the word I'm looking for? The way those people feel about their captors, or not captors, but the normal people. Love that touch. Yeah, it's like a nice small touch where, because they're magically inclined, it influences something like that. Atmosphere towards the slave race. Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. Yeah, I like that too. I've got like a few little things in this comic that are kind of, I wouldn't say similar to that because I think that's a hard thing to quantify. But like the little touches that I wanted, like for me, it's those subtle things that are super important. Why have I made the eraser that large? Um, yeah, it's the small touches that are so important. Because it creates this lived in, like, and living and breathing world. Trying to say something, but had like two different phrases stuck in my head. Yeah, it creates this kind of living, breathing world. Honestly, bit of storytelling alone makes it worth recommending. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I am actually watching anime now, so, like fully into the anime now, so I will get around to it. Oh, honestly, that bit of storytelling, that makes sense. I get what you meant. Can have his cape or cloak go back a bit like that. Has a bit of a shaky hand. There you go. Alright. Speaking of hands. Ratchet's hands. It's been really interesting to kind of learn the ins and outs of comic design, because so this is like, this page has only 8 panels on it, because usually the limit, like the max that I've seen recommended is 9. So I'm really glad to have learned that, because it actually makes my life easier, and it makes it easier to get more pages to a chapter. So it's a win-win. Still waiting on the final episode of it to publish. We'll let you know when it's done. It's by another studio that COVID is still messing up. Ah, damn. That's rough. That is unfortunate. COVID really, continues to kind of affect the world, doesn't it? For companies and corporations that didn't adapt to it fast enough, they're still seeing the effects years and years on. And it is insane. Oh, I was just about to change layers. It's so interesting to see how my muscle memory is just going to work on the loop deck and reaching for dials and stuff that now don't do what they used to do. And then I also have to remove the whole the whole Procreate style of drawing or process of drawing from my head, because it's going to make coloring in more difficult, because I'm just going to mess stuff up. Comic design reminded me, I figured out the difference between us. When you like the starting product to be amazing, Berserk, I like the growth you see in a story as it progresses. I get that. Yeah. I need to show you a pic of the first and last manga volumes of Rosario and Vampire. Oh, are those two where you see significant improvement across the artist's work? Because I do love that. And one thing that made working on my comic so much easier, and it's great that you mentioned Berserk, but is that the first few chapters of Berserk, a lot of growth. Ooh, I mean, I love to see that. But the first few chapters of Berserk are kind of the same as what you're saying, is that the art style is unfinished or imperfect. But I still love that, because it shows growth. It shows growth in the artist's style, it shows growth in, all these different avenues. Knowledge of comic, design. When I started doing this comic, I had no clue about. I was just enthusiastic. But beyond that, nothing. No knowledge. And I'm definitely not a master yet, but I've learned so much. It's also partially why I'm kind of keen to just take this chapter slowly, because then I can really work on growing and improving my art style and building upon it. So I'm very excited for that, and since I've got an entire year to do it, we'll see how we go. would we see some cloak here? Maybe a little bit. Like that much. Hey, Frosty, how you doing? It be a mouse boy. It do be a mouse boy. The mouse boy do be it. Just currently working on seeing if there's anything more I need to add before I go to the background. That, probably. Doing good. How you doing? I am doing very good. I have had a good break. I feel relaxed. I feel like I've forgotten how to draw, but seemingly things are going well in terms of the illustration stuff. It all seems to be working, which is fantastic. So I can't complain. Very happy with how things are right now, I would say. Happy New Year, by the way. I hope your New Year's events were good. BRB, because Amazon is being stupid and not wanting to load the pics for that reference, but the growth part of what you made me buy is what you made you buy it. Oh, that's good. Hey! My 30-minute notification is here. I've put, like, timers on things, so unprawn and things like that. Ugh. Just to remind me, and to, you know, this year I'm going to take better care of myself. Or aim to take better care of myself. Because it's very easy to fall into a habit. And if that habit is detrimental to your physical well-being, then it's just not worth keeping. So, I love doing the comic, but it means I sit here for hours and stuff. And by the end of it, I'm usually quite sore. So, let's just add a nice reminder to make sure I stretch. Make sure... Another thing I'm doing, making sure that I actually zoom out on my work now, so I can see it. And zoom in so that I can do the little details. It's all a big process. Is that correct? Let's see. I mean, that looks pretty correct. Found it, posted the screenshot in anime. Ah, sweet. I will... Could check it out now, but I might not. I might wait till after the stream for this one. No distractions. Serious mass. This year's serious mass about doing things. No, I might check it out. Hold on, give me a moment. let me have a cheeky peek. Anime. I need to also read your reviews as well. Oh my god, yeah. You're right. I won't show it on stream. It's fantastic. I mean, like, it's so lovely and so motivating to see such growth in an art style, and the fact that they just kept going as well. It's it's so impressive. And for me, and for me as someone who is like, I need that kind of reinforcement. I love to see it. Because it makes me feel okay with the stuff that I've, left behind. The previous chapters. I'm now like more okay with it, and it is a process of getting used to that and getting over it, and letting go of things like that. But I'm so glad I get to see other people's works that look fantastic even from the start, but also have just continued to grow. It's fantastic. But warning, that took 25 chapters. It's not quick, but with experience it happens. Yeah, exactly. Growth is not an overnight thing, and I can respect that. And like, I'd love to be like, oh yeah, this chapter is the chapter where it really pops off. 25 books, not chapters. Oh, 25 books, yeah. And I'm like, I'd love to be like, oh, it's gonna just be fantastic by, the end of this chapter. But it won't be. It'll be better. It'll always be better. But it won't be perfect. And I guess getting used to that has been one of the big challenges, I guess, for me. But it's also been immensely rewarding. So yeah, you kind of take the good with the bad. It's like what Jake from Adventure Time was saying, constantly changing. No, we're changing constantly on the inside. And I wouldn't want it any other way. Also can be quite scary, but it's still good. We're constantly growing and changing as people. I think everyone feels that way. I know I have heard both the bee and the frog talk that way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It took me a moment to realize who you were talking about, and then I was like, of course, the bee and the frog. I know them. I insulted one of them not a day ago. Yeah. It's this constant growing period, I think. I kind of want to put like a gate in, because we're going to see a lot of landscapes pass by, and so I kind of want to just play around with the landscapes and stuff. I love that way of referring to them. Yeah, I do too. It makes sense, and like it goes to show it works, because I realized who you were talking about as well. So I knew who you were talking about. It just took me a moment to realize. I do also love, it goes to show how my brain kind of works when I'm like hyper focused on stuff, because I was just about to ask, if you were if you were to use that naming tactic on me, what would you come up with? And I'm like, wait a second. That's the easiest. I'm the easiest of those two. There's moments when your brain is working, but it's just not working on the thing that does the talking. I wonder. Yeah, exactly. Probably be a bottle of Yakult, because, constantly associated with Yakult. you know? I love it. Some people would say I'm one of the smartest people they know, but on the inside I'm just a rat in a cage. Just a dingus. Just a dingus and a moron. Moron. Like, this is enough for the frame, but I want to do more, you know? You ever get that feeling you just want to add something else, and then add something else, and then so on and so forth until you've just filled the frame? Let's zoom in if I'm gonna add a tree. No, but I have to cheat to avoid that problem. I don't draw. Oh, that's fair. I never feel compelled to, like, add more to my drawings because, little cheat for you, I do not draw. You know what? I envy that. Because now that now that I have an iPad for drawing on the go, I now feel compelled that I have to, like, go out and draw. It's a real double-edged sword there. I have a whole saga surrounding my newest manga, light novels acquisition. Oh yeah. Sorry. I've had a coffee and and so my finger, like, twitched and I felt like I'd actually accidentally undone multiple things when I hit undo. Don't mind me. Don't mind me just panicking about dumb shit. Just having a little dance. A little dance break. That you guys can't see. I guess I'm just gonna have to animate my mouse dancing as its own, like, little skin. Its little model. Ooh, also, I know I've been teasing this for, like, since last chapter, but this time around, I actually get to introduce one of my favorite characters to write, which I'm so excited about. Like, I love this character so much. Actually, I've shown it on Instagram, Armella. So Armella is being introduced in this chapter. And genuinely super excited. So I had all of the light novels for a continuation of Neon Genesis. Oh yeah, Evangelion in your Crunchyroll cart. Yeah. Do that. So we go. Logged into it on the first. The cart was empty. Oh no. That was odd. I had you add them to the cart and discover volume 2 was out of stock and listed as out of print there. Oh no. That's not good. to start adding just a few little lines and stuff. We'll see how that works out. Well, that was a problem. It was because Amazon already had Volume 2 as out of stock. Oh yeah, so that, like, that would have meant you wouldn't have been able to get it for a while. In that case. Or it would have been hard to find it elsewhere. That's not good. Yeah, that's not good. Gonna try and do a different tree. Different style of tree. Just to shake things up a little bit. Yeah. So I panicked, went to about 3 different places to try to find it. Finally find it at a bookstore, add it to cart and check out, and find out it's out of stock, expecting more February 20th. So they were also out. Oh fuck, that's annoying. And like they listed as being available, which is just such a pain in the ass as well. And that's Ratchet's ear, so we won't actually see a lot of that tree. Ah, jeez. They made it like as difficult as possible to get these light novels. Like it almost feels like it's trying to just set itself up, like the world's set up against you in this situation. That's fucked up. Panic More finally think to check on eBay. They had it. Use Express Checkout because I want this series and no way will I be missing one book. Yeah, damn right. Will not settle for less. I don't like that. Actually, the line work on this one, not a fan. I can just do shadow work for that one. How does that look? Dunno. Not convinced. I think that these need to be like deeper. Actually, that kind of solves the problem. And also the trunk needs to be just better. It's to be more betterer. So order that volume from eBay and the rest of the series on Crunchyroll. Well, today the eBay is left in the mailbox, and I think that's odd. I thought the book was too big to go there. Yeah, right? Uh-oh. That's a bad sign, isn't it? That's like a bad sign. Get in, open it, got the wrong volume from the wrong series. Ah. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's almost as bad as that time I watched the completely wrong anime, but almost as bad, but not quite. Apparently, because of the holiday, there was a mix-up going to send it back Monday. Found another copy up in Canada, so ordered that one too. Yeah, fair enough. Damn, that's so much work just to get the light novel you wanted. Sorry to hear that, Loki. It's definitely the wrong kind of angle. There we go. So if it gets to you before I travel, great. If not, I end up with two copies of the hardest to find volume. Yeah, that's true. Well, not an intentional investment, but hey, I mean, that is quite the eventful just purchase. Zooming out. And that's nice. They do look good, and I can live with that. It was a whole ordeal with lots more anxiety than I expected. Yeah, but that's fair. It was like that. It's yeah, that's super unfortunate. Like such an unfortunate thing to happen. Like I think on the near stream I was talking about that I'd ordered a bunch of stuff. I was so looking to upgrade a bunch of my setup and things like that. So I've ordered a bunch of new things, and I'm currently like tracking their orders and stuff, and some things haven't even shipped, which is it's the thing with like ordering stuff online. It is just nerve wracking because if something goes wrong, it's like, oh, well, what do I do to solve this problem? But like very good like problem solving as well. You still got what you needed. Oh yeah, right before 9S fucked up. Yeah, exactly. Before 9S rudely interrupted me, uh, with base jumping off of a big tree. Yeah, I was talking about just a bunch of stuff that I wanted to get, as well as stuff that I have ordered, and I have ordered a new headset and a new mic, which I'm actually really looking forward to because I think it's about time I upgraded my mic. Um, but yeah, like so far nothing. Only the headphones have shipped, and the mic should have shipped by now. So it's just like ugh. It's just frustrating. And honestly, I like the place in Canada more. It has 200k reviews versus 2k. That's fair. Like that is a good sign, and I do like that. Places that have good reviews, always good in my books. I fall into a bit of a rut in just not not just trusting them, but like using them for the most part. And even if they like maybe get an order wrong with me, if they've got the higher reviews and I've used them before, I'm more likely to continue using them just because I know them. We'll probably check there first for orders in Canada going forward. Yeah, nice. You've learned what you're gonna do going forward, which is good. It's always, a good outcome for a situation if you've learned something from it. Just gonna do the the tree parts first. Because these have been interesting to draw. Because the trees I'm trying to draw is essentially, like, are pretty much just straight. Some of these are a little messy, I will admit. Especially the one I just drew, that one's messy. Something about it just didn't look right. Can I just do that? Would that look better? We shall see. Nah, not really. I tried to learn in every exchange, even if it is what not to do. Like, my life as an Inukai-san's dog. Yeah. Even if the lesson is, like, even if the result is less than ideal, if you learn from it, then, hey, you're still winning. Winning in the end. Let's make that just a touch bigger. That is the anime I want to summarize as Mama, that is a dog, put the peanut butter down. Oh no. That tracks. Oh dear. Oh dear oh me. Don't know how I feel about this one either. Seriously, there is a day I will have to explain my sins to a creator, and when it comes to that show, I will look them dead in the eyes and go, sorry man, I got nothing. I try my best to be a good person, but like, what could I do? What more could I do? I'm just existing. It's fine. It's not terrible. Not terrible. Not great either. Cool. Just thinking, is there anything more I want to add to the line work before I move on? Let me think. Let me think. Let me have a sip of water, and then I'll think more. Try my best, and ecchi sounded good, and you didn't train me to be a quitter. Exactly. That's a good enough reason as any, surely. I wasn't raised on this earth to quit. Think I'm gonna stop at sketchy animes about a woman wanting to form a relationship with a animal? Hey, just as it's not been 30 minutes, it's been an hour, so I need to fix those timers. But they're sort of correct. They're sort of around about the mark, so it's almost right. It's almost correct, which is like pretty good on a scale of things that, like, I've been streaming for almost 2 years, so that's pretty good. I think I can live with that, with this, because there's also going to be speech bubbles, and they're going to cover a lot of stuff. So, yeah. Is it really necessary for me to keep drawing just because I want to? No. We don't do this because we want to do it anymore. We do it because we have to. That's right, yeah. It's no longer my choice to draw. It is the demand of the people. Flat colors. Just saying out loud what I'm doing. But now I have a magic wand button. Yippee. You think I will stop when a woman appears to be getting off to her pet dog is licking... Oh my god. Okay, well then, put it that way, I should have, man, but still. How can I know wrong and right when you aren't there to tell me? Got no issue showing the previous page. People can read it. People can read it now, so it's not a spoiler. Yeah, man, that's on me. I shouldn't have kept reading. But I did, so we're here now. Look, that show scarred even me, and that's saying a lot. That is, yeah, that is saying a lot. Not known you to be scared of anything. Fearful? No, not Loki. So that is a warning if ever there was one. This anime will shake you to your core. I gotta make sure that I got the right color there. Do you see that? Creation? The creator? Fought your toughest battles. This one particular anime. That was really not what I was expecting it to be. Worst part is they brought in some sci-fi bullshit that could have provided plot, but then 5 minutes later they remembered what kind of show it was. Oh yeah, this is not for us. Plot building? Nah, get rid of it. We don't do that here. We just do the sketchy shit that people really deeply should question. It's who we are. It's in our blood. It's what we do. Hey, next time. Seriously, episode 9 pulled up and they had a chance and it felt slightly worth it, and then nope, someone call ASPCA. Yeah, you know what? I'll give this a nice soft chance, and then nope, no warm up today. Well, the warm up's got to be redeemed. What, have you never been in one of my streams? You know that. If you actually attended one of my streams, that's a redeem. I don't just do warm ups. Who do you think I am? A competent artist like Arnie? No. None of that shit here. Sir, madam, I am not Arnie. I'm not good at this art thing. I am merely. Oh, I'm merely a con man. Don't be rude to my bestie. Me or Arnie? Just as a warning, ad starting soon. I do actually like something about that. Something about that noise just activates something in my brain. That I'm like, ooh. No, you dongus. Okay. I'll try not to be, but sometimes your best friend does be a bit of a dingus. Does be a bit of a silly sausage. Or the dog? Is the dog? Dog your best friend? But yeah, they shouldn't be doing that. Shouldn't be doing shit like that to that dog. These all have, like, illumination on them. So I'm really not going to get away with just adding any old colour to it. I'm actually going to have to put effort in. Ugh. Nope, it's the is the dog your best friend still triggers my fight or flight. Oh no, that is grim. Yeah. For what we're talking about, that's very grim. Yeah. The part you don't know is the dog is a reincarnated dude who had a crush on her. Ooh, but ooh. I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse. I'm gonna go with worse. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. I guess okay. Oh dear. Man, anime is wild. Worse. Yeah, you know what? You're right. It is worse. You know what? You're right. That is worse. I feel bad about that. Episode 2 is them. Oh, yeah, I feel weird. You know what? You're right. I do feel weird about this. This, I need an anime where I don't have to worry about things like that. I'd love that. I mean, actually, there are plenty of animes out there where I don't need to worry about that. What am I saying, you know? Don't really have a tree line that's not obscured in some capacity, but that's okay. I will figure it out. Oh, I kind of want pink for some of these trees. because I did use pink. And then she gets her classmate and eventually the whole class involved. Oh dear. I do not fully know what to make of this anime. I mean, it scares me, and I, if there is a heaven, I'd like to go to it, you know? So I think I won't allow myself to be curious and watch this. It sounds scary. Sounds too existential for me, and I don't like, for people who know me, they know I'm not an existential person. I'm scared. I fear it deeply. I say as if Chainsaw Man isn't kind of viscerally horrifying because of the existentialness of it, and that's what I like about it. Is that so very rarely in Chainsaw Man is a death just like, oh, this character that we know died. It's more than that, and it's just like, oh god, I feel weird and I feel sad. I feel weirdly deeply sad about this, and I don't like it because it's the whole, and it's one of the things I love in story writing is the fate worse than death, like situation. If you want to make a really melancholy or disturbing story, you have more often than not a fate that's worse than death, or fate that's more than death, and that can be really unnerving for a reader. Good idea. Anything I rate below. Oh, there are two things I ever genuinely regret watching, and that is the only one I have ever finished. Oh, right, okay. Good idea. Everything I rate below a 7 I suggest avoiding simply for the integrity of your soul. That's good to know. I will keep that in mind. And on a more happy note, Us the Digital Circus has is the Digital Circus as bad as my mind is making it out to be? I have no mouth and I must scream. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. I'll admit I know Pomni, and that's about it. I've not watched it, but I should do because it's on YouTube, isn't it? Yeah, I've not watched it. I've not seen it. Which is surprising because it seems like the kind of thing I would have watched at some point, you know? I seem like that kind of goober. And also because I've watched Chainsaw Man and I see a lot of comparisons of Pomni to Kobeni, which leads me to believe I would enjoy it because I do find the way that they just ruthlessly bully this one character in Chainsaw Man just very consistently very funny because this girl just does not get a break. I started watching it a few weeks ago while you were drinking and made like 3 pages of notes and noted out of there are and noped out of there at the 10-minute mark. Ooh, okay. That actually makes me feel more compelled to watch it just because now I want to discuss it with you. You know what? Forget this stream, and I just like close my drawing software and we just watch the Digital Circus together. And then I get copyright stricken. And I disappear from Twitch forever after watching like a minute. That's not what I want my legacy on Twitch to be. Fair, I got major, I have no mouth and I must scream vibes. Oh, right, okay, that makes sense, that tracks. Interesting. Oh, and because it's like, it must be an from what I've heard, it must be an existential thing. Which I do kind of like. I do like the existentialism of certain shows, but then also if it's too strong, it'll freak me out. if it asks the right question, then it's gonna freak me out. And as someone who is like deeply looking forward to writing the horror spin-off of this series, in this world, I'm in the writing phase, and I'm like really trying to skirt the line between, you know, horror existentialism, but then also a kind of horror existentialism that's not gonna freak me out. You know, because I don't want to write just a story that actually causes me to panic and only scares me purely. If I end that series and people are like, "Oh yeah, this gave me like, this really freaked me out," I'm like, "Good, I did my job. I didn't just freak myself out. Don't worry, you're in safe company. It scared me, but that's because I'm a sensitive soul. It freaked me out, but there's a 50-50 chance that was you overthinking it or the rum. Okay, fair. Enjoy your lurk, Nex. Thanks for popping in. Chance not whatever in the hell that was. Oh, Chabense. Oh yeah, I knew what you meant. I think I read chance, not Chabense, or whatever that is. You're right, that is weird. I'm gonna go with a light pink for these tree trunks. But yeah, I love that, because Chabense kind of sounds like Kabene. And I'm just gonna mention that character again, and I freaking love that. She's just a mess, you know. She's just a. I'm not gonna make these pink. I'm gonna make these a light red, light orange, because it just looks weird. The other way. Yeah, I just love that she's relentlessly bullied. It's for humor. It's very funny. To me, anyhow. Try to delete sometimes, get over exuberant, and just make tons of mistakes. Yeah, I mean, that happens. It's, you know, we're human. I mean, some of us are human. I'm a mouse. But, you know, we all do stuff like that. And I think, like, yeah, if it's, like, just because it cracks the existential questions as well, just as, like, a bit of a note, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'll enjoy it necessarily. If it hits those notes that usually I enjoy, it's not an automatic win. Because I found that Midnight Mass by Mike Flanagan, I think, I enjoyed for the existentialism, but then I was like, the story's not all that, is it? And also, like, the camera work was quite shoddy, so I almost felt like I was, like, getting seasick watching it. So I ended up not enjoying it after a certain point. Even though it tickled the existentialism for me. It's not all a thing needs to do to get my attention. Is that the Slorp Glory 9000 to riff off Moni Demon? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is the. Oh my god, of course Moni said that. That lady. Just so dang classy. Kabeni, yeah. I know what you meant. I've heard of the Slorp Gorp demon that she made a deal with. I know the story. I've watched it. I've watched Chainsaw Man. Slorpcorp 9000. That's my middle name. Oh my god. Wait, is that what Moni said? Did Moni say that? I haven't. I just know that meme, and yes. Moni. Sweetie, what the fuck are you doing? Jesus Christ. And, I don't even know how to respond. I'm just like unsurprised but still shocked and appalled. Oh wait, hold on. Jesus Christ, Moni. What are you fucking doing? Right between I really should have come sooner and if you are in chat and didn't send me your thing. Moni. The fuck? Forgot to hydrate during the hydrate break. Shocked. Shocked and appalled, Moni Stara. Those are not good, wholesome values that I expected of her. No, she's the best. No, she's great. She's the best. But my God, woman. To this day, how long have I known you? Almost a year? Still managed to surprise me. Absolute degenerate. My God. Cool, we can work on, we can work on shadows. I was gonna say, I should do the clouds, but I can do the clouds in the details page. It's not a biggie. I saw your next message, Loki, and it says in her defense, and I don't think I care to listen to a defense for something like that. No, actually I will. In her defense, we chat was mentioning Slorp Glory 900 before it, but in our defense, it didn't take much to get her to say that. No, of course not. I know Moni Stara. She's like, you see shit like that in your chat, she's gonna say it. That's okay. It's funny, of course. It's hilarious when she says it. But it does not take much to egg her on. That, I think, is why I'm just such a big fan of her. Is that she's just completely unafraid to say shit like that. Oh, there's no color in there. That's why it didn't. Nice one, Gray. Freaking nice one, mate. Forgot to fill that with colour. We just planted the seed and she grew the frog. Plant. Yeah. It's what she does, right? She's a monstera. She just grows. Grows in any condition, it seems. She could grow in concrete, I think. That attitude, anything is possible. Oh, did you hear Callie agree she's a frog? Well, of course, she is a frog. Like, how could we disagree? That woman, even if her name is Moni Stera, even if she's got a little VTuber avatar that makes her look like a Moni Stera, Monstera, not just, Moni Stera. She's a frog. Absolutely. She likes she likes water. She likes uh, warm springs. Uh, I mean, that's as far as I'm going to go with that joke, I think. What else do frogs like? She likes both men and women, which is a very frog-like behavior, because the frog is the national animal of the bi uh, community. I would know. But it is fitting because, yeah, like you said, Callie is a bumblebee as well. Like, that just fits. Of course, sure, it's included in her, like, art style and her most commonly drawn stuff, and she likes to draw them, but, like, she embodies a bumblebee. Just 100%. I feel like I missed something important while pouring the next round. Oh, I just said, like, Callie's like, she embodies a bumblebee, in spirit and stuff like that. I also skirted around saying that Moni Stera is definitely a frog because she likes to be in and around water. I was like, I'm not gonna push that joke further. Uh, Frogs are like the international symbol of bisexuality because they've been adopted by the bi community. So it makes sense. Just heard something about frog and bi. Yeah. People who are bisexual seem to like frogs. I would know. I would know because I like frogs. Standing here giving a thumbs up even though no one can see it. But yeah. And I would know because I like frogs and I also like Moni Stera. Both good in my books. And I, and I also assume frogs can't roll their R's. Because why would they? I don't think they even know what an R is. That's my go-to insult for her, though, isn't it? Will I ever stop using it? No, of course not. I need to get some sort of advantage, some sort of win. I'm a freaking mouse. I need to get my wins where I can. I didn't know that, but I felt I should. By Alabama standards, I passed by into the gay category because I could look at a guy and go, I get it. Not my thing, but I get it. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, fair. I just see it all the time in memes, and I know, like, I should know, I should know more definitively as I am a bisexual man, but I just know from the memes. I know how I am supposed to appear to people via memes. Unprawn, make me, Punga. Make me. Nah, do it. Stretch. That timer is definitely wrong, but I could fix that. Tell you what, I do like Mix It Up, but sometimes a lot of its like settings can be a bit confusing. And it really takes like streaming and ironing out a lot of the problems to fully get it, like get my head around it sometimes. But it's okay. I will eventually get it. By my third or fourth year, I'll be a pro. I'll be a pro at streaming. It's funny because my gay friends refer to you as painfully straight, and the more regressive parts of my family refer to you as some kind of, not sure what terms your Twitch are comfortable with here, demon. Oh yeah. It is, yeah, it is really interesting to see what people's. It's because, like, so much. For me, I feel is that because so much of our perception of sexuality is dependent on um, the way we see it depicted in things. And so, a lot of people who are on that kind of spectrum, not spectrum, yeah, spectrum, um, don't appear, like, don't present in a way that actually fits those, not stereotypes, but like standards that people know. And so they only have their own opinion to kind of base it off of. Because the people I know, they usually don't immediately think of me as someone who is bisexual. And I'm like, well, what do you want from me? Do you want me to prove it to you? You know, when people say, oh, I didn't think you were. I thought you were, straight or gay or whatever. I'm like, do you want me to prove it to you? Why, like, because yeah. I find it very weird because it's an aspect that shouldn't define people, but more often than not, people expect it to. My sexuality can be bedscribed as pan with a heavy leaning towards women. Hot is hot, but also booba are amazing. Yeah, I fully get that. And it's, yeah, that whole, like, pan and bi, it is a spectrum of attraction. And I think people are still slow to get that, is that there's this spectrum of attraction. I mean, there's a spectrum of attraction for everyone, I guess. But some people are more 100% heterosexual or homosexual, and that's okay. Best describes that best described as. I know what you meant, but I liked bed described as, or bed scribed. Something about it tickled me. so, so I said it anyway. But yeah, it's for me. It's so odd because I do not consider sexuality to be something that people should be defined by. And then more often than not, people fixate on it because it doesn't fit their perception of said sexuality. And it's, yeah, I find it very regressive. Because it shouldn't matter. It's one of those things that just should not matter. Like I can look at Aragon or Wolverine and go, I totally get it, but get distracted as soon as a hot woman walks on screen. Yeah. No, I get that. I get that completely. Because for me, yeah, I'm fairly similar in that regard, in that I have a heavier lean towards women than I do men. Because I was gonna say cause auga. Well, I mean, yeah, but you know what I mean. Is that I like women? They're great. But in Alabama, that makes me have a certain proclivity. Oh yeah, that yeah. It's because yeah, people have a certain opinion, and their perception of the world is defined by that, or is more often than not defined by it. I just think of it as being comfortable enough in both who I am and what I like to sample outside my expected ranges. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, it's documented in history as being a thing that has always kind of existed. It's not, I think, yeah, it's one of these things that felt quite redefining after I heard it, but straight isn't actually, straight isn't the default. It's not the default sexuality. But so often, because of the way humanity is described or depicted in media, we believe it is. And so for a long enough, for many years, it became, well, eventually for many years, it just became the norm to understand that we believe that straight is the norm when it isn't. I just think of it as being comfortable enough in both who I am and what I like to sample outside your expected ranges. I've read that already, and yes, I still agree. I thought it was new. It's not. Keep doing that. Will I ever stop? No, absolutely not. But it is still very true. I think pan is more the default, but that might be my bias as a pan and sapiosexual. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it depends on your what's it? Oh, it is an interesting topic of debate, I think, because like for in ancient Greece, I think you would be very accurate. You know, historically speaking, ancient Greek and Macedonian pansexuality was more the norm and would fit into that whole norm kind of category. So yeah, norm category would fit that norm kind of description. You know what I mean? I'll be honest. I think I'm also quite lazy about my own depiction, or not depiction, but my own um, explanation of my sexuality. Because for me, I do come from that school of thought where it just doesn't define me, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for me to explain it to people. I don't want to explain it to people, so I'm not going to. Uh, I look at women who can kick my ass as extremely hot, but a woman who can beat me in an intellectual debate better start running. That's why Moni is safe. Ooh, yeah, fair. Ooh, shit. Just love the ragging on Moni. But yeah, you were right. I find yeah people with a sense of humor that is like people with a sense of humor that I like. I find immensely attractive. I think that's a big thing for me. And don't get me wrong, I love me, a muscle mommy, and I've talked about this enough times on stream, but, goths and goth baristas, sure, everybody knows that I like them. But for me, it's like humor. Humor and kindness is always the big thing. I need stuff like that, you know? Too soft hearted. Too soft hearted to date someone mean. That's why Moni is safe with me, too. Yeah, exactly. I think, depending on, like, I think it may even be a generational thing, but we may have all just been um, conditioned towards that as well. But yeah, goth is cool. Goth is rad and such, but I'm also the kind of person who, like, if you saw me out in real life, I think I'm a big Labrador looking dude. Just a big softy. Someone has to tell them I ordered fries and it ain't gonna be me. Exactly. I love someone that too, strong willed. Like and confident. The confidence. I don't want to be confident. So please do it for me. Yes. You're 100% right there, Loki. Yeah, I would just take it. I'd just take whatever I was given. That's not right. Yeah, I feel like Saturday morning cartoons, if they didn't try and kind of condition you to like goth girls, then I don't know what kind of cartoons you were watching. I've seen the examples. What, Raven from Teen Titans, Gwen from Total Drama Island, Shigo from Kim Possible. It's impossible. In regards to Moni, my family calls it slagging. We have a habit of insulting people we consider close, but also respect as strong enough to not get bothered by insults. Yeah, I know slagging. That's just an Australian pastime. We do that to everybody. It's how we figure out who we respect and not, is their ability to be a good sport and take a deprecating joke. It's an Irish one too. Good to know. Yeah, slagging is basically just means playful insults. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a bit of it's banter. No harm is meant by it, but there is some level of emotional harm potentially. It's not intended though, so it's fine. Those look okay. I'm actually okay with them. Slowly came around to it. Gotta try new things. Try new tree designs. Even though every chapter had a new and different tree design. Still forcing myself to do more. There's a bit of colouring here that definitely needs to be filled in. That's okay. I thought Australian was more self-deprecating insults, not scorched earth like we do. We do a bit of both. Our sense of humour is very offensive. One thing I've learned is that a lot of other cultures find Australian humour to be quite, sharp is one word for it, but I guess also another word for it is probably hostile. It's not actually meant to be hostile, but I can definitely see how it comes across as that. Because we have in Britain it's banter, or in England it's banter, but I think we have the same sort of thing where it's like, just making fun of other people. Hostile, you say? Yeah. I've talked about Peggle. I've talked about my coworker Peggle, who is someone who's just in my office. It's just, in any other organization, people would call it, workplace bullying, but it's just banter. that I bully this coworker. Not it, and I use the word bully, playfully, of course. But yeah, it's a super Australian thing to make fun of people. Like Zid says in the rules, don't be a dick. As long as both parties are okay, it's not targeted, it's fair. Yeah, exactly. If it's not personal as well, I think that's one thing as well, where you don't just target someone, target something that, like, someone's clearly like insecure about or things like that, then it's totally fine. And yeah, honestly, if it's too harsh as well, then it's not, it doesn't get the point as well. It doesn't get the point of the humor is that if you come out of the gate too hard, then it's not playful, it's you're just being an asshole. There's an art to it. It's you know, it's not playful banter for nothing. It's gotta be it's gotta be playful, gotta be humorous. It's gotta be funny as well. If it doesn't make the other person laugh, then you've done it wrong. Like as someone who is Christian, I have zero problems with insults aimed at that as long as the rest are fair game. Yeah, exactly. You kind of need to like, if you set the rules up, you kind of gotta follow them. You know, if there's something that's off limits for you, then you got to understand that it's off limits for them as well. You can't just be going like, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything as like an example because that'd just be bad. But yeah, and if you saw that like your previous joke hurt someone's feelings, you don't just keep going. That would be awful, kicking them while they're down. That's evil. You know, like at my work Christmas party, we usually have like uh, a tradition of like someone does a skull, like skulls a beer. Um, but that the person who usually skulls it wasn't there because they just had a kid, so they were taking care of their kid, taking care of the new baby. So someone had to do it in their place, and instead of a skull, the person did just like one shot, and then was done. Uh, you can't rag on one group while the other is revered as sacred. Yeah, that's super fair. Yeah, that's a very fair parameter. But yeah, so like this person did the skull, not the skull, but skulled a shot, and then for the rest of the night he was just like, "Oh mate, what do you?" And it's also I should just preface this by saying yes, it was Peggle. Peggle did the shot. Um, but anyway, he did it the shot, and then he was just like, when are you gonna take one for the team, Gray? When are you gonna do something like that? And I was like, man, I'll take a shot and then bitch about it for 10 minutes, and that that stopped him dead in his tracks. That shut him up. But it's stuff like that. It's very funny, and it did make him laugh. So I won by that, by those rules. Yeah, cool, 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 cool. Do I? I'm gonna shade these ones since they are back far enough. Yeah. But yeah, we Australians love a bit of deprecating humour. made me take a shot with no mixer. I hold you accountable. Yeah. You know what? That's fair. I wasn't even the one who forced him to do it. I was like, just one of the little goblins on the sideline, just being like, yeah, you should do it, mate. It'd be cool. But I didn't force him. I didn't force him to take a shot. But he did. And he didn't take it well. I mean, he took it fairly well. He didn't vomit, at the very least. And seeing I'm like the youngest person in my organization, I really should be the one drinking the most, but I don't, because some of these people need looking after afterwards. I gotta be responsible. I gotta be a responsible member of this team. So I'm gonna take care of them if they need help. Also, because no, I'm not gonna pretend. I was gonna joke. Also, I can steal from their wallets when they're not aware of it, because they get paid real well, and I don't. I mean, I do, but but yeah. And once, like, I am the like self-designated like mum of drinking groups sometimes. Or I'll be like, I'm gonna look after these people and make sure that they don't drink too much. Or they do drink too much and then they get home safe. I only got one more shot, and this fifth good news is I should be back to sober by anime time. Yeah, baby. That's good to hear. Okay, back to 0 by then. I'll be sober much sooner. Hey! Maybe that's good. Subjective, isn't it? The goodness of being sober. For anime. You know, because if it's bad anime, you don't want to be sober. Is that everything I need to shade? Shadow. Everything I need to put shadows on. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that I have a lot of experience being the babysitter. Yeah, it's like, it's a role that you kind of fall into if you're that kind of person. And I definitely feel like I am. Is that self-imposed babysitter kind of role? And I'm happy to do it, of course. But yeah, I once had a friend who got pretty drunk, and she needed help, like being like walking, so I kind of partially carried her. And I remember that because I basically, as I was carrying her, just some other drunk person just wandered straight into me, like barreled into me, but they weren't quite as solid as I am, so they just bounced off me, and they're like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry," and I'm like, "It's fine, like I didn't even notice you were there. Don't even worry about it." But yeah, it's always a little funny when people get drunk, because I've not seen a drunk like that drunk before either. She was like, "Don't tell Peggle," and I'm like, "I won't. Don't worry. If Peggle even asks a question too close to how you're doing, I'll punch him." She's like, "Nice." Found I gravitated towards it both because of my experience and my desire to help people. Yeah, exactly. And it's always good to have, like, it's always nice when somebody like that is just around. You feel safe, you feel like you're going to be okay, you're going to be taken care of, and you don't feel judged for getting sloshed, which is nice. Because, like, what am I doing? Adding some detail on Ratchet's face. But yeah. And also, I find that I don't get drunk very often either. I don't like what it does to my brain. I drink coffee quite regularly, but every time I wake up after I've been out drinking, I have like just that awful anxiety, and I really dislike that. So I usually don't drink because of that. And so, in the event of there being plenty of drinking, then I always make sure that I'm taking care of people. You're half my weight, no need to apologize. You couldn't knock me over if you wanted to. Yeah, exactly. Kind of, I am carrying an entire other person. You think that you're gonna knock me over? No, you're all good. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Don't worry. I actually only noticed you were there because you apologized to me. You're good. You're all good. Actually, what am I doing? I should be freaking using the magic wand. Just so I can keep the highlights within the lines. As my kindergarten teacher used to scold me for, not colouring within the lines. Look at me now. I'm cheating the system. Like what it does to your brain, however you hate piecing together what Drunky did the next day. That's fair. That's fair. That would be quite disorienting. Yeah, for me, like I can always remember what I did. I've never gotten blackout drunk, but yeah, I always feel icky the next morning, even if I'm not drunk too much. And so, because of that feeling, I feel less inclined to drink. One of my favorite sayings apply here, and it apparently applies to you. Built like a brick shit house. Well. If you ever met me in person, I'm not hugely muscular. Like I'm not a hugely muscular person, but I am just quite solid all the way through. Essentially, I'm a skinny dude, but I you don't get blackout drunk. Ooh, uh, nice. Samesies. Sorry. I'm not. I'm a skinny dude, but quite solid. Sorry for that. Phone slipped and I hit send. You're all good. You're all good. Never need to apologize to me. Especially not for stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I've found it's very hard to knock me over. I'm very hard to topple, I think, is the word I'm looking for. And now, anytime I do an in-person event, there's going to be just someone who's going to try and knock me over. Just push me over. Cursed myself. You're an ex-linebacker, so yeah, you're big. Aye, that makes sense. I'm getting a mental image of you through that description. That makes sense. Oh, well, then again, from the stories you told me, that all fits. Ah, cool, that works. Add. Yeah, something about that noise just tickles something in my brain. My little mouse monkey brain. Ooh, neuron activation. Bleep, bleep. But I am also making an active effort this year to work out more as well. So I'm going to be going to the gym and taking better care of myself. Just because I want to have a better quality of life. And one part of that is taking care of my physical health as well as, my mental health. Exercise has been shown to drastically improve mental health. So I also want to get in on top of that too. I had promised to show like progress photos as I go, but we'll see. I mean, I probably will with the Discord and stuff, but that's a long process. I need to get started first before I do anything too drastic. Okay, cool. It's just that one then. Ba, 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 da. Tell you one thing, I am actually really happy with how the fact that we're back to drawing and stuff like that. It doesn't feel like too much has changed. I don't feel like I've lost too much practice. And I do think a big part of that is, like, a big part I can credit for that is the tablet and using and portably drawing and stuff like that. But it is also just a relief to know that I've not lost too much practice. I did get blackout once, but that was the first year after some unfortunate things happened to you and your only real rival mentally in high school. We diverted after school, and I went depression, he went chemical addiction, and you know where that can lead, yeah, for sure. But besides that, when I drink, I just file last night's activities to happening several weeks ago. Oh, right, yeah. That I understand, yeah. The kind of like mismatch of memories and stuff. I get what you mean. should really make like texture brush pens, shouldn't I? It don't matter. It's not important. I kind of like that design. It's cool. I mean, you know what tree I'm trying to draw at this point. It looks like the tree I'm trying to draw now, which is excellent. But I kind of like the idea of giving them eyes because it's going to make the next bit really cool. It's going to make the next bit really fucking cool. So I actually love that design. Oh, it needs a bit of curve though. It's not blackout for you. It's that happened months ago. What do you mean it was 3 days? I think that is because um, with the ad and ASPI store so much data that any degradation makes it seem much older. Oh, right. That makes sense. Yeah. That's fair. I mean, I feel like I've gotten something, had situations quite similar to that where it has felt, like I can feel in my brain that my brain kind of remembers something as later than it actually was after drinking. So I that's actually kind of put it in um, perspective for me. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. No, not getting on the brother to. Oh, hold on. As I tell my brother, I've forgotten more about today than you could ever know. Not getting on my brother topic. That's fair enough. I get that. It is, yeah. It is such a weird thing, the old mind. You know? The brain, the things that it, like, even when not drinking and stuff like that, things that it omits, knowledge of, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Subconscious, like, amnesia, where it will intentionally forget things in order to protect you and things like that. It's all very fascinating, but also very strange. 11, but really needs to engage his brain more. Ah, yeah. That I get. Happens. It's people, people are always gonna be delightfully unique, but then sometimes frustratingly so. Some people don't really know what they're doing until something clicks for them. Sometimes they need a bit of a push. it is just, it's life, you know? Some things come easier to others than they do for ourselves. Best I think we can do is just be patient. But again, I don't know every single person's situation, so I am not the best expert for anything like that, especially people who are wonderfully unique in every aspect of life. And for sure, frustratingly so. Sometimes. That's part of why I think existential crisis hit you so hard. Yeah. Oh man, existential crises. I feel like I could drop into one of them. Like that's my job. Like it's my job, man. I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like I'm doing enough, but not fast enough. You know, it's a constant battle. Like if I think about what um, happened in a month, happened a month ago, that data is like 5 seconds long, but today's events take up over 30 hours worth of data. Yeah, and you can remember what you thought about it, how you felt about it, things like that. But then, you know, it happened over a month ago, and it's just a snapshot of what you had, and it's because your brain has gotten rid of a lot of that data because it's deemed it, you know, unimportant or what have you. Or if I'm not, like for me, if I'm not focusing on something, then sometimes I will be like, did I lock my car? And I'm, you know, 25 meters from my car, and I'm like, did I lock my car? And I have to go back and check because I can't trust my brain to tell me the truth. Had the same problem then. So Mass, you are mid-20s to mid-30s, right? I am 25, yeah. So mid-20s. Had the same problem then, yeah. Feel like your brain's playing tricks on you. But actually it's just because it didn't log that information because it deemed it unimportant. Or because I wasn't paying attention to it. And that frustrates me. I'm like, did I shut my stove off? And I'm like, I didn't use my stove this morning. But it's my brain, like, and it's one of those things about having quite severe anxieties that my brain will make stuff up for me to fixate on. And if I don't remember it, like don't remember that specific part of it, then hey, guess what? It's gonna be a problem. The best way to do is get something that is physically 1,000 parts. I do puzzles. That's not a bad idea. I actually really like that. I should get a little puzzly thing to occupy the old noggin. I don't know why I said it like that, but you know what I mean. 'Cause yeah, I think that would be good. That actually just makes it the same color as the sky. It was all pretty terrible, but I can just erase along the line. It's fine. But then realize you have 10 to 20 tables of those prices left for days. Oh, pieces left for days. Yeah. Then you have to like delegate a space for it all and stuff like that. You know. It's part of the joy of the puzzle. I find for myself, like personally, my brain works too well for Lego, and so I can do like Lego builds in seconds flat. Not seconds flat, but like quite quickly. And so as a result, they're not quite as engaging. I almost shut my brain off. Oh, that's not dark enough. Sorry, gang, I'm hyper focusing on this cloud piece. I don't know how I feel about. There we go. One thing I've been enjoying doing is like carving away in my drawings. Like if I find something that I'm just not, a look that I'm not keen on, just carve away until I am keen on it. And it's something I'm actually kind of also keen to try, is that I've seen a tutorial on a method for sketching, which is, or not sketching, for doing shadows and creating depth with shadows, is to actually is to have two different layers of shadows, with one actually just filling in the entire space, and then the next one filling in deeper shadows, but the first one carving out the light in it. And I'm keen to give that a shot. I just like that physical representation. If I have 1,000 pieces of a shitty puzzle like my mum and I are working on now, the thought that my days are 10 to 20 of those really slow you down. Yeah, that's fair. It gives you kind of like a grounding kind of anchor throughout the day. That's a really good idea. I really like that. And I should do something more like that, like a little puzzly puzzle thing, to just occupy my constantly racing brain. Oh, right. But I do like that, just having something to kind of, yeah, ground you in an experience, something you can work away on. And I guess for me the comic is that, in many sense, like in a sense, is that grounds me. If I'm working on that at least a little bit every day, then I know that I have something physical there to remind me that I've done something, and that my day wasn't just me sitting or working or doing whatever. I have a comic that I worked on, even if ever so slightly. And also puts that existential kind of feeling to rest a bit, because, the comic is one thing that I kind of sometimes worry about, is that like, oh, am I going to have enough time to do this? So far it's been yes, but also sometimes feels like it's so big, I might not. That can be quite scary. Not that scary, either, to be fair. The existential crises are worse when you are, right now, by the time you hit 35, you'll have them under control. Believe me, I know mine set in at around 28, and I figured out how to control them around 33. Yeah, I definitely feel them now. I feel them more strongly than I have in previous years. Like, that is definitely something I'm coming to terms with, is that I definitely feel them, and in a more direct kind of way. But I also feel better about them because I've always kind of struggled with those existential feelings. So I feel like I'm getting a grip on them, but I think there are also more of them. So it's a bit of a here and there. So in my personal sample size of one, it takes around 5 years to figure it out right. That's fair. I think that's a fair amount of time, honestly. Also, please don't remind me of how old 35 actually is. I'll try not to. I don't know how I can try not to, but like I will. I don't think 35 is that old. From my own personal opinion, I don't think it's old. Most of my coworkers are around that age, and many of them seem younger than me. So I genuinely don't believe it's that old. Is that actually it for details too? Kind of looks like it. I need shadows back there, but like, kind of looks like it. Just one more bit. Then we fall back to shadows to fill in the tree line, the back tree line. And then we've got light, which is something I'm actually going to take more time with as well. The physical representation really helps. The mind has problems visualizing with any number over 100. That does not surprise me. So, honestly, I like that. If I can find a way to make that visual representation, like, related to something I'm working on, then actually I feel like that would hugely help me with mentally kind of accepting things that I maybe can't change, or being more patient as well. I think that's one thing that I really want to work on, is being more patient. I know this will take ages, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, I wish I could be, further along quicker, all this kind of stuff. And understand that the pace that I'm at is actually pretty good. It's also why I think that like the additional Thursday gaming night is important, because I think I need that. I think I need more time to actually just do my own thing or have fun. And it's also part of an effort that I haven't talked about, but I'm making an extra effort to make streaming, like normalize streaming more for me, because I like streaming. And it's just making a habit out of things that I enjoy so that they are consistent is also a big thing for me. I used to have a pack of cigarettes is 20, a carton is 10 packs, and 5 to 10 cartons is how long I have left. But the puzzle pieces is much better, especially after you flip half of the 1,000-piece puzzles over. Yeah, it's like it provides a better mental image. And maybe like sometimes you don't really, it's just not what you need. The symbolic representation of cigarettes be time, I guess. I'm not gonna lie. I actually really love these trees. They go like they look great. I'm actually really happy with them, the way they've turned out. Man, I really want to hear back from the legals so I know how much of my NDA I can say. Ooh, yeah. Because, yeah, that was some exciting news. Oh, God, that was a terrible curve. Unprawn rat. Ah! I might actually take some water as well. And I might stand up as it's asking me to do. Ugh. Actually, I might even animate a model where he actually does bend back and stretch. 109 days without cigarettes. Granted, you are vaping, but still much better. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, congrats, man. That's awesome. That's some really, like, genuinely really good work there. Good on you. That is some big news. Yeah, that is better. It's progress. You may be vaping, but that's still huge progress. Like, and I don't say it as in you may be vaping as in like, you know, whatever, but like that is, yeah, that's huge. Good on you. I love to hear that stuff actually. Little changes that make a big difference. Because like I don't doubt it would have been tough, you know, like really genuinely would have been quite tough. And something I've realized only just now is that I can fill this space in and then scan out from there. And considering it was around $10 a day, that explains why the where the manga money is coming from. Exactly. And it's such a nice, like, just a nice reward as well. It's like it's something that you don't necessarily think about in the moment, but then you realize, oh, I can actually afford like more manga because I'm no longer smoking. And no longer buying 10 packs of cigarettes, you know, a day or whatever, or a week, or however, I don't know the cigarette smoking metric, or however many is normal. But yeah, like, and it's always like a really nice sign as well. It's just like, oh yeah, I've bought like a bunch of light novels with the money that I would have spent on cigarettes and stuff. Oh man, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. 16 and a half days of life expectancy added. Oh, that's cool. That's so cool. It is so cool to have that kind of statistic and know how much time you're giving yourself. It was around 1 pack a day. That is just under the heavy mark. Okay. Heavy is over a pack a day. Yeah, definitely. That sounds like it would be a lot. Like, because you said before how many packs in a. No, no, how many cigarettes in a pack, which is like 10 to 15. But it's still a lot, so that's a lot of smoking. You love the app you got? It helps. Yeah, and like, it's so good to hear that you got like a method. Oh, not a method, but yeah, something that helps you do this as well, because it makes success all the more guaranteed as well in that sense. 20 in a pack, 10 packs in a carton. Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, which is, so if you're doing more than 1 pack a day, that is a lot. Like a lot, a lot. But what does the app do? Like, out of curiosity. What kind of a I don't know. I don't know if using the word service is the right word I'm looking for, but what kind of service does it provide for you in assisting and in quitting and stuff? Because for me, I've not. I don't know. I grew up in a household where we were definitely there was no kind of like absolute opposite of encouragement to smoke. If you smoked, big problems, and we never smoked, but I definitely know that it's hugely addictive and very tough to quit. Does all the math. Oh, awesome. That's super cool. I love apps like that because I'm fucking shit at maths. Uh, Tracks life expectancy lost and gained by stopping money spent on the Hobbit and saved on the Habit, and saved life expectancy lost and saved. That's incredible. I love those analytics. That was a trash statement. Yeah, that's okay. But that sounds like a really useful app for what you're looking for. Such finesse, such poise, such grey tones. Hey, Creo! How are you? How are you doing? I am here, stretching. Oh, I almost. Ow. I almost choked on my own breath. It is I, Kriegler. Welcome, Kriegler. Welcome back to the comic streams. We did this, so we've finished an entire panel in one day, which is awesome. That's huge. And it's not a simple panel either. Make sure you do your Kriegels. I defo will. Thank you for reminding me. My Kriegels were feeling neglected. What was I doing? I've completely forgotten my hex highlight brush. That's what it is. I need to draw light. That's pink. Stunning. Money saved, time smoke free, life regained, and cigarettes not smoked are the main four things, but it also covers the alternatives. Oh, that's good. It's kind of like it really gives you perspective of what you've achieved, which is such a hugely useful app to have, especially with, trying to quit habits or quit, addictions, or I think this is just a habit, but like trying to change habits and things like that. I will make you drink Yakult once I hit 100k points. Okay. That's fine. I fucking love Yakult. Untrained Kegels is the leading cause of sudden fluid destruction on the Kegel zone. Oh no! My Kegel zone, my precious Kegel zone, it's full of fluids. Ooh, that felt weird to say. What was I actually going to say? Hold on. Oh no, my precious Kegel zone. Completely derailed my train of thought. Fluid destruction in what zone? Yeah, fluid destruction in my Kegel zone. My Kegel space. Gotta keep the Kegelator zone nice and fluid rich. Exactly, gotta keep it... I don't even know if I want to say the rest. In my brain, I'm like, I feel like I've made a mistake. But I've got to keep that zone good. In the goods. Where am I going with any of this? I don't know. Nice and hydrated. Yes, hydrated was definitely the word I was thinking of saying. Yes. Yeah, I don't know if I asked, but how are you doing, Cryo? How has your day been? Oh, that's something I forgot. I've got some fluid for your keeping zone. Oh no. I'm good, naturally just causing trouble. Ayy, doing what you do best. I would expect no less from Krebo. Today's stream brought to you by the pear flavored gamer subs. Ooh, that sounds nice. Oh, that was what I was gonna talk about. Yakult. Um, I recently learned that Thailand they have big Yakults, like big yaks. So not like the little shot-sized Yakults that I'm used to in Australia, but they have like bigger ones. And I sent Lumen on a wild goose chase to try and find a 2 liter one, but um, he couldn't because I was lying to him because I'm quite compulsive at that whole lying thing. um, fuck, what I was saying, go on. No, sorry, I was just about to ask about that, but I wanted to finish my train of thought before I moved on to a new train of thought because I knew that if I left that train of thought, we were never coming back to it. Um, but that sounds really like that. Actually, sounds delicious. I for Christmas I actually got Gamer Sups from my brother, and I didn't check the flavor of them, but one of them was caffeine, like caffeinated, and I was like, "Ooh, that sounds great. That sounds exactly what I need." Um, you know me. You know how I am. Like, I know that if I don't finish a train of thought, that's gone forever. So I definitely needed to finish that, but like I really like some of the stuff that Kuribo, yeah. I definitely like some of the stuff that Gamer Sups has. So I'm now getting into Gamer Sups. Um, and I think for Christmas I got a Shy Lily packet, and I haven't tried that yet. Um, but I'm keen to as well, because I think if I want to have a, if I want to pursue a better quality of life, just in general, I should be taking the right kind of supplements. And if I'm sitting here day in day out, I should probably be looking at what I can do to best support taking care of myself in this space as well. I'm a professional derailer. A that must be disappointing for Wiki. Sorry, that's not fair. That's not all right. uh, Gamer Substance low level pre workout. Ah, that's fair. I've heard about this elusive pre workout and it scares me, but I'm also intrigued. I only get the caffeine ones. My favorites are the pear and Mummy Milky. Well, now I need to know about that. The Shy Lily is pretty good. It's your third favorite. Ooh, well, now I'm excited. I'm keen to try them all, or most of them at the very least. Pre workouts are great. I've seen videos about people taking pre workout and they're like, I feel like I could fight a bear, and I'm like, that scares me. I don't know if I want that kind of power, but I am gonna get into the gym soon, so maybe I want that kind of power. Shy Lily, not stylishly. I get what you meant. I get stuff with heaps of beta uh, alanine. Beta alanine. I'll make a note of that. Unless it's like Latin for you're a bitch, and then I feel like I've just dunked on myself. So pre-workout have like 100 and 250 milligrams of caffeine. Okay, that's good to know. But I like coffee as well. Will that impede my coffee consumption if I have too much caffeine? Then I'm gonna just have anxiety. How do I balance that out? Do I just have 1 cup of coffee a day, not 8? But mine are usually low. Yes, it should. Okay. I mean, I don't doubt that it'll affect it in some capacity. But I guess I could take it in the mornings when I do go to the gym. and then I have a coffee later in the day. You can't get zero caffeine pre-workout. That's fair enough. I wouldn't want it any other way, I guess, because I do kind of want caffeine. I like caffeine. I like to feel awake. And I also feel like a very lethargic person if I don't get caffeine. I mean, you can, but you don't want to. You don't actually want to just get pre-workout without caffeine. You can get zero and then just enjoy your coffee. Yeah. Or do I just adapt to the new lifestyle where I have more caffeine in my system and then become more high energy, thus improving my stream quality and and things like that? Sweet six pack is the mummy milky flavor, and my second favorite flavor the bottle came with is very nice. Good to know. I just gotta watch the intake. Yeah, and that's something I also need to take heed of as well. Because I don't have any coffee, so I can have whatever pre-workout without concerns. Yeah, and that would make things easier. But I also know that if I was working, and because every day my office goes on a coffee walk, and I know that if I was working and then everyone was like, "Hey, Grey Mouse, do you want to go on a coffee walk?" and I say no, they're gonna think something's wrong, because I always say yes. It tastes like strawberries and cream, but it was a limited time run. Ooh, that does sound nice. Very nice. We've done this panel, so I actually feel like we'll be good to rate out in a bit, but I'm gonna wait and just chat for a bit, because I also want to get the in on supplements and pre-workout, the knowledge, because I am starting a gym routine this week. So before work, or every day, once I wake up, I'm going to go to the gym, work out different parts of my body, and then go about my day. Your pre-workout you just ran out of was strawberry and kiwi. Ooh, that sounds nice. Your favorite flavor, wow, is soda pressed despair. Oh my god, a pear flavored one. That's a fantastic name for something I did not expect to be pear flavored. Now I'm having a peach iced tea flavored one. Ooh, that sounds good. Peach flavored iced tea. They all sound lovely. Work the body. I will be. I have BCAA, I have a BCAA and creatine drink, which is watermelon flavored, and it's really nice. And then my protein powder is salted caramel flavor, which is fantastic. It tastes like, if it's blended with milk, it tastes like just a milkshake. Or if it's with oats, it tastes like a dessert, which is fantastic. But it's a really good quantity of protein, and it's the best. It's never been better to get into health supplements. The Shy Lily is your third favorite. It's a nice tropical flavor. That doesn't surprise me for Shy Lily. That makes sense. That tracks. You can't have too much creatine. I mean, yes, you can. It makes you shit your pants. Yeah, you have more than the regulated scoop amount, you will shit yourself, and it will not feel nice. There's literally no downside to it. I mean, yeah, that's true. If you have the right amount, then you're fine. Nah, dude, I swear, get like a tablespoon of it, pop it in your coffee, you'll feel fantastic. No, don't make me shit my pants more than my usual amount. I can't do it to myself. It hurts. It hurts my system. Hold on. Please, Creo, don't make me take more creatine. It'll make me shit myself. My pants will be all poopy. As they always have in stock, best thing to do is wait until they have a deal on average every other cup released by a caffeine tub and get a free shake. Ooh, that sounds good. I'm not doing creatine wrong, I'm sure of it. Every time I take more than the recommended amount, I poop my pants. Maybe you have an intolerance to it. Yeah, I'm creatine intolerant. The shakers are top notch. Plus booba. That's true. I've seen them. I know I've got the crying model on, but I do agree with everything you say. Please don't make me shit myself, Cryo. Please. I don't wanna. I know creatine is good for me, but I don't want that much in my system. And I don't have a return one, so I have to use the old one. Use the transition. I do like booba. I'll, I'll smooth out that process, but that was funny. That was so funny. Just real up close. Please, Mr. Cryo, don't make me shit my pants again. There's only so much creatine I can have in a day. Got 3 tubs of the pair, 1 packed for your trip back up. Nice. That's good, yeah. I don't have much of that gamer supplements, but I'll try it out, and then I'll probably add it to my rotation of drinkable goodies. Anyway, it's almost 3 hours, so I should probably make like a baby and head out. Most tubs are 90 servings. Unfortunately, I drink 6 servings a day. Sorry, my brain was doing a funny. I couldn't do the maths on that. Okay, but it is also more ingestible. Like I'd only drink creatine once a day, again because of the shitting my pants thing. But gamer supplements are probably, from what I've heard, they are more consumable, more regularly consumable. The price, the price, the price point is very nice, about 0.50 a serving. Okay, that's good. That's nice. Yeah, that sounds doable. That sounds includable in my daily routine. Trying to do like nicer things for food as well, like slightly healthier meals and stuff. Slightly healthier meals and things like that as well. So I'm trying, yeah, like I said, this year is a year I'm taking better care of myself, both mental health and physical health. So I am keen to do more that promotes better health. And so supplements and stuff like that, I'm definitely down to do. Along with just taking more time for myself and implementing things that I do actually enjoy doing, like streaming. Streaming is one of those things that I actually deeply enjoy, but I also need to find a way of making it a habit as opposed to making it feel like a job. I've never had that problem. I've been between 9 and 12 servings a day. Sounds like a you problem. It does sound like a me problem. My body is a temple, but it's one of those temples that have been filled with litter and garbage. So it's very sensitive sometimes. Anyhow, actually I should probably export this. So I'm not going to work on any more panels today. Done a good amount. So I'll export it. And then we'll raid out. Chapter 3. Chapter 3, page 1. Astounding. We've made it. We've made it here, guys. Mine is submerged sounds like a mine is submerged sounds like a skill issue. Yeah. I love it. Loki's many taglines. So I highly recommend you drink some ginger beer. I love ginger beer. Ginger beer is fantastic. I actually went to, when I was in Broome, so a part of Western Australia, like top part of Western Australia, they have a brewery there called Matzo's, and they are known for their ginger beer. So I got to try that, and it was fantastic. But I also love Bundaberg, which is they have a ginger beer as well, which is very popular in Australia. Your body is a temple, but when you have creatine, it turns into one of those temples Indiana Jones was in. It's just poo ball just runs out. I've taken creatine before, so that I could definitely agree with. It is that, isn't it? I only first had it on New Year's. Oh yeah, it's so good. Ginger beer is incredible. Like it's such a nice thing to have on like a nice warm day. Um, it's maybe not one of my favorite soft drinks, but it is up there. I do really enjoy it. Now, who's live? Lumen's live. Frosty's live. He's playing Genshin Impact though, so I don't know how I feel about rating into a Genshin streamer. Lame, am I right, guys? All I'm hearing is creatine is the natural counter to opioids. I have a ginger beer. Yes. Yes. I would say so. Oh, and Suited is also live. And a sarsaparilla. Ooh. Sarsaparilla. I've only had sarsaparilla once, and it was a very strong sarsaparilla. So I don't know if I have the best context for sarsaparilla, but I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I should probably try sarsaparilla again at the very least. I'm a grown adult now, so surely my taste buds are different, right? I have a sarsaparilla when I come down for PAX, because I'm going to need something to wash down those 100 nuggets. I would take my spyware and getting addiction banned. Addiction made in America. Oh, right. Took me a moment to figure out where the made goes in there, and I can't complain about that because I've been messing with Enya about the placement of certain words, so I can't. So it's karma for me, isn't it? Get the sarsaparilla from Bundaberg. It's pretty good, also. Okay, I'll do that. I can believe that. All right. What's Lumen playing? Try the Tasmanian Tiger PS2. Zombie Slayer. Hey. I like Booba, but at the same time, I am an American. That's true. Well, that only encourages you to like Booba more. How you doing, Zombie? We're about to raid out. But I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you've had a good day, or are going to have a good day. I'll be in there regardless, respectfully. Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. In that case, I'll send you somewhere else. Actual question: what's verified accounts on Twitch mean? I think it just means that. Hope the best to you too, Mass. Hey, thank you. Yeah, but not Chinese spyware, booba. True. Verified accounts, I think that means just you go through the verification process, which is just like check your email. Usually linked to a phone, yeah, two-factor authentication as well, I think. And I think it's just so that I think if it's in relation to this stream, I think it's just so that I don't get bots or quite as many bots. Oh, go into chats and it says verified accounts only chat. Yeah, some people do that. I don't think I do that. I probably should, but it's not been too big of an issue for me. So I don't necessarily, I don't necessarily think about it. Also, before I forget, I've done it. I have finally made a raid message, if it works. Yeah. So I have a raid message, and it's... Hold on, let me set it. At least partially. Yeah, I haven't set the raid message. just gonna say raid. And that should be set. Working out the, ironing out the kinks. There you go. Anywho, let's get raiding. Massa love the effort, but it's not perfect. No. And it will be ironed out in the years to come. Anywho, let's jump to Loom. The Loom. He's our boy. Anywho, thank you all so much for being here. It's so good to be back into the comic. I'm really keen to see where it goes. You can see ooh effect from here. I'm impressed. Raid. Let's do it. See you guys all tomorrow with more comic work. But until then,